And welcome to App Lab Math. Today we're going to be creating a polar graphing app. Alright, so why don't we go ahead and get started. I'm already signed in to App Lab and I have an untitled project here, and we're going to rename that to Polar Graphing. Now, if you're not sure if this is your first app and you haven't signed in to AppLab by code.org, see my previous video on units conversion, which will show you how to sign in. So this is Polar Graphing, and what we're going to do first in the Design tab is we're actually going to make a background for our image. So basically we're going to need to go to the Design tab, and right now we have an image that we can choose for our background. What we're going to do is we are going to go, and you can go ahead and copy this link that's up here. I have this, I made this image here, and we're going to use that for our background. So you can just create a new tab, go there, just paste that URL right in, and notice it shows right up there as your background. At this time in the Design tab, I'm going to also ask you to create a label. So let's go ahead and drag a label in. I'm going to put it right down here to the lower left of our graph. And I'm going to change the label name to label underscore, and I'm going to call it point coordinates. And then in the text, I'm going to put in parentheses r comma theta, the word theta. And that'll just prompt the students that, well, when you're given a point and a coordinates for a point in polar graphing, the first coordinate is r, the second coordinate will be theta. We are now ready to go to the Code tab, and in the Code we are going to go to our Variable section, and we're going to drag in two of these variable x's. Oh, sorry about that. And we're going to show blocks. Hold on. Sorry about that. The two blocks we're going to drag in will be we're going to create two different variables, so you can bring in two of these var x's. The first variable will be r, and just for now let's call r to be 30. Let's call it r to be 100, and then our next second variable is going to be theta, and just for now let's let theta be 30 for 30 degrees. So those are our two variables that we're going to use, r and theta. The next thing we're going to need to do is use the turtle, and these are turtle graphics, so that's going to allow you to draw some points and lines on the canvas right over your background here in the image. And the first thing we need to do is, of course, move to the center of our polar graph. Now, if you take this particular polar graph image, the center is exactly 160 as a set of coordinates, so we're going to put those in. And now we're ready to start actually doing our polar graphing. So to plot the point at r theta, this is where we can talk to the students and encourage them to note that if your turtle is at the center, when you actually do polar graphing, if you need the graph out at 100 at angle theta, the first thing we're going to do is turn, and we're going to make sure we turn to 90 degrees. That's the standard position for an angle in a polar angle, the positive x-axis. So that's why we turn to 90 first. We're going to have our graphics make sure we put the pen up so that when we turn and move, we need to now, we don't actually do our drawing here. So at this point here with the pen up, we're going to turn left, which is counterclockwise, and we're going to turn left by theta degrees. We're going to actually type in theta into this argument here, so that'll give us our 30 degrees to turn left. And then we're going to move forward our units. So our move forward, I'm going to drag over the move forward, get that to clip on, and we're going to just put in r in for our variable. That's going to, from the center, it will turn 30 degrees and move forward out r, which is our radius, which is 100. Then we need to put the pen down and draw a dot. Pen down will be here, and the dot will be right here. And this dot, you can choose any size. 3 seems to be a decent pixel value for drawing our dot. And then, of course, before we move back, we need to take our pen, move our pen up, and move back to the origin. So we're going to need to move backwards our pixels. All right. At this stage, you're actually ready to plot a point. Here we go. Go ahead and click the Run button, and lo and behold, it plotted 100 units out at 30 degrees. I have these scaled by 25, 50, 75, 100. You can certainly see that. I encourage the students to change that to 50 and run it again, and you see, well, that would be at 50, 25, 50. Change the angle to 120 degrees. See where it winds up. There's out at 120. Let R be negative 50. All these different examples they can explore and plot so many different points. All right, in our next video, we're going to show you how we can put this in a loop and actually graph an equation like a cardioid or a rose. All right. Thanks for watching, and hope you try the next video.